And good morning, everyone. Well, I hope there are some everyones out there. I'm talking to myself. If you are there, then join me on today's resin adventure. Let's go. So I'm making a project today which is going to include this little character. I have a few things to say about it. I have made it before for myself, but never on camera. This is the mould. It's very flexible. It's a nice jelly mould. The only trouble with it is because it's so sticky and jelly, it picks up every single little hair and piece of dust and lint. So you have to keep cleaning it or keep it in a plastic bag, which I've tried to do, but it still picks up no end of stuff. Other people have made this little devil cat, they call it. And they say that it's a nice mould, but the only problem with it is the horns. They are tricky, as you can see. Maybe you can see if I turn it that way. They have points on the end, and these are made separately from the cat itself, as is this piece on the back. This piece on the back is down here, and that's not a problem, that's fine. But the horns are these two little spaces down here. And because the horns have a point on them, the mould point is down in here. So it's very tricky to actually get the point to stay on the horns. Luckily, I have two of them, so I'm going to do two horns here and two horns on the one I'm actually using. And we shall see. I've seen other people have said if you can't get the horns to be made in the resin, you can make them out of clay or something like that. But this is a fun mould to make. And I'm going to do him rather like I've done this one with mica powder, and then I filled this one up with black resin to make this show through. So this is going to be stage one of the little cat, because I'm also going to do something else with him as well. Now this is a box that I really like, but if it has one flaw, which other people have complained about as well, it's that when you put the resin in it, the sides bow out. Not so much for the lid, but definitely for the box part. Usually what the manufacturer gives you is something like this, that you snap together and you put it around the edges, but it's so thin that sometimes, even when you put it together, the pieces are so fragile that they just snap. So this, I don't use those. I don't even bother with those. What I buy is these. They're mainly for casting silicone in, but I find them to be very useful for things like this. And all I do is put the box in, build the frame around it, use the clips to keep it tight, and shove in some cardboard at the end to fill in the gap, so that when you pour the resin in, it goes to the hard edges and gives you nice straight edges. Otherwise, if you don't use anything, or you use that stupid piece of balsa wood, the sides bow out and it just doesn't look right. I do it also for the lid, although the lid doesn't have as much resin in it as the box, so it tends not to bow out. But I thought, well, whilst I'm doing it for the box, I might as well do it for the lid. finally. Okay, so that's the base. Looks good. And now the lid. Of course, complimentary cat hair. That was easy. So this is the top. You can see the thickness of the lid. And that's the bottom. Okay. So we have that all in one box. And now for this. This should be easy because these are very soft. Oh yeah. So there's my blue cat. This is where his horns go in. And this is where the back piece goes in. So this glues in there. Okay, so that's come out all right. Now for the bit that's always tricky and that people complain about, the horns. They often don't come out fully formed. You can see that one isn't. And this one, how are we doing with this one? And that one isn't. It's lacking a point. But I have this because I did two. And if these are failures as well, then I'll just have to recast them. No point. And no point. So I'll have to recast those. And here is the black that was left over from pouring that. He's got no nose. And his back thing. Yep, that's come out okay. This was just because I had leftover resin. So you can see his nose didn't form on this one. But it's perfect on this one. So thank goodness for that. So the horns, if they were perfect, it would go in there. But of course, I have to recast them, which is what people complain about. So not a surprise. So I'm setting up now to finish the lid, but I thought I would show him to you. So I recast the horns on both the moulds and I managed to get a set, so that was good. I stuck on some of these little pearls, tail, and on his fin. And I did his eyes and nose and mouth just with a Sharpie. And I also enhanced him a little bit just by taking some mica powder of the colours I used and just brushing it on to make him a little bit more glittery. And this grass, this is the kind of stuff that people who do the model railways use. So I think it's going to be pretty long lasting. So I put that on with UV resin because it seems to be the best way to do it. Found myself a nice blue stone which I'm going to sit in here. And then my cat will go up like so. And these little bits and pieces, again, these are some of the little grass plants. I don't exactly know what they're made of, that the people who make the railway displays use. Another little rock. Originally, my thought was going to be to cover the base here with this stuff. Again, it's used for people who do battlefield scenarios or railway things. It looks like grass. And I tested it out by putting UV resin on the top of this lid and just sprinkling this stuff over and then patting it down, blowing it off the residue and sticking it under the UV lamp, and that works quite well. But I changed my mind because I like the patterns that the resin has made, so I don't think I will cover any of those up with fake grass. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm just going to stick all these bits on now. And I'm going to use one of my favourite glues. This, I go to this a lot. The reason I can't use the UV resin method that I used with the grass back here is because this grass, it's like a mat, but it has holes in it. So the UV resin, as you can see, I've done the UV resin. The UV light can get through there, but I can't really penetrate the underside of this, so I'm just going to glue these on. That's why I chose to do it that way. Okay, let's finish. So there we have it. The tale of the devil cat who found a nice cozy place to take a nap. As I said in the video, this box is one of my favourite boxes to use. They call it a tissue box, but it's far too small for tissues. It comes with this lid, the solid lid, and a lid where you can put tissues in and you can pull it out. But I decided to just use it as a box. And the cat is something that I have made, as I said, but not on camera. So I thought, well, I would like to combine them. And I think it came out quite cute. I like the fact that he's found himself a little place to take a snooze. He looks very happy, very comfy. And it gave me a chance to be more creative, do a lot of decorative things, even though his horns were a challenge. Got there in the end. And I'm very happy with him. I was very pleased also with the way that the gold resin decided to arrange itself. That was very fortuitous. I hope you enjoyed that. This was fun. My little devil cat will remain sleeping and cozy until we next meet. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate all of you, and come back and join me next time. Bye for now.